In the 10th place, the black-legged tick turns the Appalachian forest floor into a zone of hidden risk. Barely the size of a poppy seed, this tiny arachnid thrives in the leaf litter that blankets trails and backyards from Pennsylvania down to Tennessee. What makes the black-legged tick so feared isn't its bite, it's the invisible threat it carries. With a 27% infection rate among nymphs, these ticks are the main vector for Lyme disease in the region. In 2023 alone, more than 12,400 Lyme cases were confirmed across Appalachian states, a number that continues to rise as warming temperatures expand the ticks' range higher up the ridgelines. The real culprit behind this epidemic is the white-footed mouse, a common forest dweller that acts as a reservoir for the Lyme bacterium. Up to 70% of ticks that feed on these mice become infected. For hikers, a single unnoticed tick can lead to weeks of fever, joint pain, and in some cases, long-term neurological symptoms. The CDC recommends wearing permethrin-treated clothing and performing daily tick checks, especially during the peak activity months of May and June. In the Appalachians, fear often takes the form of what you can't see. And when it comes to the black-legged tick, the danger is measured not in fangs or claws, but in the slow spread of disease through an entire landscape. Number 9. The copperhead turns a quiet Appalachian trail into a place of sudden risk. With its coppery bands blending perfectly into sun-warmed leaf litter and rocky crevices, this pit viper often goes unseen until it's too late. Hikers in West Virginia alone report about 250 copperhead bites each year, more than any other venomous snake in the region. Most bites occur on south-facing slopes, where the snakes bask in the afternoon heat, waiting for passing prey. The venom is hemotoxic, causing intense pain, swelling, and tissue damage, but fatalities are rare, with state hospital records showing 0 to 1 death annually. Still, the fear lingers, fueled by stories of accidental encounters, someone stepping into a pile of leaves or reaching between rocks for a handhold. The best defense is to stay on cleared trails and avoid putting hands or feet where you can't see. While the copperhead's bite is rarely deadly, the shock and pain can turn a simple hike into a race for medical care. In the Appalachians, fear isn't always about what's lurking in the shadows. It's about what's hiding right at your feet. 8th place. The timber rattlesnake coils its way into Appalachian fear with a venom that ranks among the most potent of any North American snake. Found along rocky outcrops, talus slopes, and open pine oak ridges from West Virginia to Tennessee, this pit viper prefers the highlands, places where help is often hours away. Its venom packs a punch with an LD50 as low as 0.85 milligrams per kilogram, a level that can overwhelm even large prey and, in rare cases, threaten human life. While encounters are far less common than with copperheads, the stakes are much higher. A single defensive strike can deliver over 100 milligrams of toxin, and in the heat of summer, yields sometimes reach 150 milligrams. Recent surveys in the Great Smoky Mountains document a 15% rise in sightings, a sign that conservation is working, but also that hikers, hunters, and foragers need to stay alert. Park herpetologists recommend maintaining a safety distance of at least 30 meters if you spot one, especially in rugged terrain where escape is tricky. Most timber rattlesnakes rattle before striking, but in the dappled shade of a mountain boulder, that warning can come too late. In these remote reaches, the real fear lies in the combination of raw venom power and the distance to medical care. A reminder that in the Appalachians, danger sometimes waits in silence, coiled and ready. Number 7. Yellow jackets inject a sudden dose of panic into Appalachian summers. These wasps build their colonies underground or inside old logs, often right where hikers and picnickers least expect them. A mature colony can swell to over 2,500 workers, each one armed with a stinger that can strike repeatedly. When a nest is disturbed, the response is immediate and overwhelming, a living cloud of aggression. In August 2021, a swarm erupted near milepost 210 on the Blue Ridge Parkway, stinging 37 visitors in a matter of minutes. 5 people went into anaphylactic shock and needed emergency epinephrine, turning a simple roadside stop into a medical crisis. The numbers behind these encounters are sobering. From 2011 to 2021, stings from hornets, wasps, and bees claimed 788 lives nationwide, with Appalachian states accounting for around 280 of those deaths. For those with allergies, a single sting can be fatal in under 15 minutes. Even for the non-allergic, multiple stings can trigger dangerous swelling, fever, and, in rare cases, organ failure. The CDC recommends sealing food, avoiding bright clothing, and carrying an epinephrine auto-injector if you know you're at risk. In the Appalachians, fear doesn't always come with fangs or claws. Sometimes it buzzes just beneath your feet, waiting for the wrong step. Number 6. The black bear stands as the largest and most formidable mammal in the Appalachian Mountains. With a population of about 1,900 in the Great Smoky Mountains alone, these bears are a constant presence across the mixed hardwood forests, dense undergrowth, and river corridors that run from Virginia to Tennessee. Encounters with humans are not rare. Park officials document 339 interactions each year, a figure that includes everything from curious bears wandering through campsites to more aggressive raids on unsecured food. While attacks resulting in injury remain exceptionally rare, the fear comes from the bear's sheer power and unpredictability. About 12% of these encounters end with food loss or property damage, leaving hikers and campers wary of every rustle in the woods. Stories of late-night bear raids have become part of local lore, with some families recalling the old bear dance, a ritual stomping and clapping meant to scare away prowling bears near mountain cabins. The National Park Service stresses the importance of bear-proof containers and proper food storage, noting that most negative encounters can be avoided by taking these precautions. Unlike the hidden threats posed by insects or snakes, the black bear's size and strength make it a visible reminder that wild Appalachia still belongs to its original inhabitants. In these mountains, respect and caution go hand in hand, especially when sharing space with an animal that can tip the scales at over 400 pounds. Number 5. Wild boar bulldoze their way into Appalachian fear with a force that is measured not in teeth, but in dollars. These feral swine, descendants of European imports gone rogue, now root through about 12,000 square kilometers of Appalachian forest and farmland. The economic toll is staggering. USDA estimates put the annual damage from wild boar at $2.5 billion nationwide, and the southern Appalachians feel the brunt. In 2022, a Kentucky farmer lost 3 acres of corn overnight to a single wallow, a $12,000 setback that played out across local news as the latest chapter in a decades-long invasion. The 1974 hog invasion newsreel captured the panic as herds overran fences and trampled crops, prompting a wave of state-funded fencing programs. What drives the fear is the boar's relentless reproduction. A single sow can have 5 to 6 piglets per litter, reaching sexual maturity in just over a year. With populations growing by 20 to 30% annually, control efforts struggle to keep pace. The USDA now deploys GPS-collared Judas hogs to track and trap entire sounders, but eradication remains elusive. For Appalachian landowners, the threat is not a rare attack in the woods. It is the constant risk of waking up to destroyed fields, contaminated water, and ruined livelihoods. Sturdy fencing and motion-activated lights are the first line of defense, but as long as wild boar keep multiplying, the economic stakes in these mountains remain sky-high. Number 4. The coyote prowls the Appalachian night, stoking rural anxiety with every distant howl. Once a stranger to these mountains, this adaptable predator now claims territory from the Pennsylvania ridges down to the Carolina foothills. Coyotes thrive on the edges, where pasture meets forest, where livestock graze just beyond the porch light. In 2023 alone, West Virginia paid out 1,200 bounties for confirmed coyote removals, each worth $250, a sign of just how seriously the threat is taken by farmers and ranchers. The fear isn't just folklore. Coyotes hunt in small packs, making them more effective at targeting sheep, goats, and even young calves than solitary hunters. Nighttime attacks leave behind scattered feathers or missing lambs, fueling stories that echo through the valleys and into local news. The 1998 folk song "Coyote Howls on the Ridge" captured that tension, immortalizing the predator's eerie presence in Appalachian culture. Wildlife biologists note coyotes are masters at exploiting fragmented habitats, often slipping through gaps in fencing or using culverts to bypass barriers. Traveling in groups, they lower their own risk of injury and increase hunting success, making them a persistent challenge for rural communities. For those living in the Appalachian backcountry, the best defense is vigilance. Travel in groups at dusk, keep pets leashed, and use loud whistles or horns to scare off any bold coyotes. In these mountains, the coyote's reputation is earned not just by what it takes, but by how it adapts and endures, turning the line between wild and domestic into a nightly battleground. Coming to the top 3, the bobcat haunts Appalachian nights as a master of stealth and shadow. With tufted ears and an amber gaze that cuts through darkness, this solitary hunter slips through the patchwork of forest edge and overgrown pasture, leaving behind little more than a paw print in soft mud. Bobcats are rarely seen, yet their presence is felt, especially when chickens vanish from backyard coops or a house cat goes missing at dusk. Camera traps in the Smokies and the Allegheny Plateau capture fleeting images: a ghostly silhouette on a fire ring, a set of glowing eyes caught in a beam of night vision. These sightings fuel the region's folklore, none more famous than the 1954 Ghost Cat of the Smokies story, where a phantom bobcat was blamed for livestock losses that never quite added up. Despite the alarm, actual bobcat attacks on humans are almost unheard of, and livestock loss from bobcats accounts for less than 1% of reported cases across Appalachian counties. Still, fear lingers, not from direct threat, but from the animal's uncanny ability to appear and disappear without a sound. Residents are advised to secure poultry at night and keep pet food indoors. But even with these precautions, the bobcat remains an enigma, stalking the boundary between wildness and the edge of home. In second place, the white-tailed deer stands as an unlikely but relentless threat across the Appalachian landscape. Every year, these deer are at the center of more than 1.3 million vehicle collisions nationwide, with West Virginia alone logging around 3,800 deer-related crashes annually. For drivers in that state, the odds are striking. 1 in 40 will hit a deer within a given year, making it the highest-risk region in the country. The danger peaks during dawn and dusk, when herds move across winding mountain roads and highways like I-77 and Route 19, turning a peaceful drive into a split-second emergency. The economic cost is staggering, from car repairs to rising insurance premiums, and the physical toll includes thousands of injuries and dozens of fatalities each year. Efforts to curb the risk go back decades. In the 1930s, the Civilian Conservation Corps erected roadside signs reading, "Deer crossing, slow down," some of which still stand along historic byways. Modern safety tips include using deer crossing flashers and keeping headlights on high beam when possible, a practice shown to cut collision rates by nearly a quarter. Unlike predators that stalk in silence or animals that attack in defense, the white-tailed deer's danger is indirect, born from sheer numbers and the unpredictable intersection of wildlife and human travel. In the Appalachians, fear sometimes comes not from what's hunting you, but from what suddenly appears in your headlights. And finally, in first place, the white-footed mouse upends every expectation about what it means to be feared in the Appalachian Mountains. Barely the size of a thumb and covered in soft brown fur, this unassuming rodent is the keystone culprit behind the region's Lyme disease crisis. It doesn't bite, claw, or chase, yet it drives more human suffering than any fang or stinger on the list. The white-footed mouse serves as the principal reservoir for the Lyme bacterium, Borrelia burgdorferi. Field studies across the Appalachian corridor confirm that up to 70% of infected black-legged ticks acquired the pathogen from these mice. In the leaf litter and brush piles stretching from Pennsylvania to Georgia, every mouse captured in CDC surveys carried the bacterium, quietly fueling a cycle of infection that ripples through the ecosystem. Unlike deer, which amplify tick numbers, the mouse determines infection rates, making it the hidden engine behind tens of thousands of Lyme cases each year. The impact is profound. Western Virginia and central West Virginia now report some of the highest Lyme incidence rates in the nation, with entire counties surpassing 150 cases per 100,000 residents. Even as vaccine trials like VLA15 offer hope for the future, the immediate defense is old-fashioned. Seal every crack in cabins, keep grains in metal containers, and treat outdoor clothing with permethrin. In the Appalachians, fear isn't always loud or visible. Sometimes it scurries through the shadows, small enough to slip beneath a door, but powerful enough to shape the health of an entire region. Across all 10 feared creatures, one pattern stands out. In the Appalachians, threat isn't just about size or ferocity. It's about how wildlife slips into the margins of daily life. From microscopic disease carriers to massive roadside hazards, these risks thrive where human and animal worlds overlap. In these mountains, Fear is woven from the unexpected. Stay alert, and thanks for exploring with us.